today I have a super fun, flirtatious, vibrant makeup tutorial for you. Bright pink lip, super reflective teal eye. I am so happy with how this turned out. My intention going into this was to do something a little bit more of a forest green, but once I dipped into this teal color, I knew I had to put it all over my eyes. I love it so much. But for the base of my eyes, I used this Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Quad, which I hauled a couple months ago, and I have to fess up that I have actually never used it before. Today is my first day using it, so you're kind of going to get some of my first impressions in there. Really briefly, I wanted to mention the nail polish that I'm wearing today. I'm wearing the shade Hunter from the brand Zoya. They sent me a very generous PR package the other day filled with beautiful nail polishes, and Hunter was one of the ones that they put in that package for me. This might be my new favorite fall color slash favorite color of all time. I love deeper colors for the nails, especially for the fingers. I like anything on the toes, but this is such a cool army forest hunter green, and I just wanted to mention it because it's so pretty, and I love how easy it was to apply because I do my own nails. I very rarely get them done, and so I'm pretty familiar with different brands and applications and brushes and everything, and I have to say that this is so silky and easy to apply, and it gives you a really nice glossy finish really effortlessly. Yeah, this is not sponsored or anything. I'm just raving because I love it so much, so I wanted you guys to know. Alright, let's jump into this video.
Alright, I'm going to start by prepping my lips using this Caudalie lip conditioner. Just putting this all over like chapstick. And then I am going to use a little bit of this NYX Hydra Touch primer, putting this all over my skin. This is just like to refresh my skin and to give it some hydration. I also like to put it around my eyes because it's really soothing. Now I'm using this Smashbox Photo Ready Finish foundation primer as well, putting this over the largest pores on my skin. So that's around my nose and on my chin and also in the center of my forehead. For some glow from within, I'm using the Estee Edit by Estee Lauder Flash Illuminator in the shade Morning Light, and I'm putting this just over my cheeks and also on the sides of my forehead. This is so stunning. Now, I have some scars on my jawline and on my neck from some acne, which I've been struggling with, and to conceal that, I'm using this Revlon Photo Ready Concealer in the shade Light Medium, and then just lightly tapping that out with a dampened beauty blender. This is a Real Techniques beauty sponge, and I am not worried about making it perfect because I'm going to put foundation over top of that. This is the CoverGirl and Olay Tone Rehab 2-in-1 foundation. I have been seriously using this almost every day. I thought because it had so much moisturizer in it that it would make my oily skin sort of look even more oily, but that is not the case at all. And this is the matching concealer, by the way. I'm just dabbing this under the eyes. This stuff is so creamy, both the foundation and the concealer. It just goes on like a dream. It feels so soothing. It's not drying at all. It's just very hydrating, makes you look and feel really great. I love this, and I wish I had started using it sooner. I stole it from my mom. Okay, and then I am going to go back over with my Revlon concealer, just making sure that those scars are perfectly covered, and then I'm going to do a little bit of eye priming with this NARS Pro Prime eyeshadow base before I use my Maybelline Fit Me concealer, which I put over top to conceal the veins, but this is really good to help prevent my concealer and my shadows from creasing. So then I'm going over top of that with my Maybelline Fit Me, blending that in with a Zoeva 110 face shape brush, and then setting everything in place using my Be a Bombshell Cosmetics Smooth Criminal Powder and my Zoeva Luxe Highlight Brush to do that. So on the lids and also under the eyes as well. To set my entire face in place, I'm using this Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder in the shade Naturally Neutral and using my Zoeva 106 powder brush, dusting this really lightly all over my skin. You don't need a ton. And then to contour, I'm going into my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, using that middle shade and a Zoeva face paint brush. I'm using the narrow side of the brush to first carve out my cheeks, and then I flip it and I can blend it out really easily that way. So you can use this brush to both, place the product down and also to blend. I really like this. I hadn't used it for a while, this brush, and I rediscovered how much I love it. So I would highly recommend this brush. I'm also going along my jawline, and bam, you can see the difference. It's pretty astonishing. And then I'm also going to go lightly along the side of my nose. Ever looks blotchy, just continue to blend. That will solve all of your problems. Then I'm dipping into this yellow shade, dusting this over along the top of my nose, and then also kind of cleaning up the bottoms of my cheeks too. This isn't necessary, but I did it anyway. And then also putting a little bit of the contour under my lip using a Sigma brush. For my brows, I'm mixing two products. One of them is the Wonder Brow Brow Gel in the shade Brunette, and then the other is the NYX Brow Gel in the shade Chocolate, I believe. I am using a winged liner brush from Zoeva and just kind of carving out my brows with this. The reason why I mixed the two of them is they're both like really excellent, like long-lasting formulas. The Wonder Brow one is maybe a little bit too light for me, and the NYX one is maybe a little bit too red. So mixing them together makes them the perfect match. And I find that the mixture of the two is just really easy to work with, so I'll definitely be doing this again. To bake my under eye and to ensure that it stays really bright and also prevent shadow fallout, I am using my RCMA No Color Powder and a damp beauty sponge, just pressing this all along underneath the eyes. And then I'm going into this Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Quad in the shade Sage. So first I'm dipping into this base color and using my Zoeva 222 Luxe All Over Shader Brush, literally putting this all over the lid up to the brow bone. Not up to the brow, but just to the brow bone. And then I'm going into this gray tone shadow using my 221 Luxe Soft Crease Brush from Zoeva as well. Putting this in the crease, but I'm also kind of extending it a little bit further, not focusing on bringing it down to the outer corner of my eye so much, just bringing it out a little bit more. This is gonna give me a little bit more eye space to work with. Next, I'm dipping into this magnificent green color and using a flat shader brush. This is from Zoeva. Pressing this over the lid, and so you can see that the pigmentation is really, really great off the bat. However, blending it is difficult, like really difficult. And I was surprised because I did put down the other base shadows, and you know, her other shadows, the Kat Von D Shade and Light shadows, are just my absolute favorite. They're so buttery and beautiful and they blend perfectly, but I had to spend so much time here working on that. So just a heads up, it's a great color, but it's a little bit tricky to work with. So then what I'm doing here is just kind of defining the outer corner using a tapered blending brush from Zoeva. And then as I do that, the pigment starts to wear down, so I have to keep going back into the color and pressing more on. Then I'm going to blend a little bit more into the crease using that first base color. And I don't know if you can see it very well here, but it gets a little bit splotchy in my crease, and it seemed like the more I worked with it, the worse it got. So I kind of just had to stop. But then for the star of the show, I just started using out this L'Oreal Color Riche eyeshadow in the shade Teal Couture, and I was just gonna put it on the center of my lid for a pop of color. But no. As soon as I put this on my lid, I had to have it all over my whole face. No, I'm just kidding, but over the whole lid. It's so pretty. It's a showstopper. It's literally like the definition of a mermaid eyeshadow. I love it. It's so creamy. It's a really kind of unique formula. It almost feels like a creamy powder. I don't know. You have to touch one to see for yourself. It's really unique. So I'm putting that all over, and then I'm going to kick off my bake using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette and that same Zoeva Luxe Highlight Brush. Just using a reflective powder like this just is going to add a little bit of glow and make sure my skin doesn't look dry. It looks hydrated. Now for my liner, I'm going to go in with like a little bit of a modest wing using my Sigma Standout Eyes Gel Liner in the shade Wicked, which is the black shade, and also a Sigma little eyeliner brush as well. By the way, everything is linked down below, including the brushes this time. So go check that out if you have any questions. Anyway, I'm just kind of drawing my flick up following the line of my eyeshadow and then filling it in. It's pretty simple. Of course, it looks simple here on video, but it really took me like 5 or 10 minutes, which is so ridiculous. I think I'm getting worse at doing wings, guys. I need help. Okay, then to highlight, I'm using this creamy bone color, putting this right underneath my eyebrow. And this is just really subtle. It doesn't have any shimmer in it or anything. It's completely matte. Just gives my eyes a little bit of lift. Now I'm using this NYX Très Jolie Pitch Black pencil, and it takes a really long time to build it up. I'm using it because I have it, but I don't think I'm going to repurchase it. So anyway, now I'm going to go in with the green color again, putting this along my lower lash line and also extending it on the bottom of my wing. I didn't show it very well, so I apologize, but that gives the bottom edge of my wing a little bit of a smoky effect. Then I'm just going to blend that out with a pencil brush. Then on the inner corner of my eyes, I'm using this L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow in the shade Eternal Sunshine and using my Sigma inner corner brush to apply this. Now I'm going to use my Ride or Die mascara, which is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Putting this top and bottom 2 coats, it gives you a false lash effect. Like, I am just so in love with this mascara. I was going to put false lashes on, but I decided I didn't need them. Plus, you can see the teal color a lot better without the lashes covering that up. So now I'm going to do some little freckles. So first I'm covering up what I already have, or going over the little freckles that I already have, which is very few. I'm using my NYX eyebrow marker to do this, by the way, and I'm in the shade medium. And then I'm just going to start randomly placing this along the tops of my cheekbones and also over my nose as well. The trick to making freckles look realistic is to have different pressure points, so you have different depth of color, and then also different sizes of the freckles themselves, and also to layer them. So what I'm doing here is just going over top of that with my dampened beauty sponge without any additional product in it, just to make it look a little bit more natural. For my blush, I'm using this Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Exposed. This is part of their Naughty Nudes collection. I really like this because it's got like a mauve undertone, which adds a lot of volume to the cheeks. So I'm using my Morphe E4 brush to apply this. Then I'm going into my NYX Strobe of Genius palette and a Morphe, what is this brush? M501, and I'm mixing those last 2 shades over there, so the yellow and sort of the champagne color, to give me kind of a golden flush, and it's so reflective and so pretty. Okay, so now I'm going over top of that again using my NYX eyebrow marker in medium, and this is what I'm talking about when I say layering. So this just gives me a little bit more depth of field, so I don't know, it just looks a lot more realistic. And then for the lips, I'm lining them using this NYX retractable lip liner in the shade Nude, which is one of my favorite lip liners. I've been using this for years. And then for the lip color, I'm using the Milani matte lipstick in the shade Blissful, which is a beautiful like baby pink, so pretty and creamy. All right, that finishes up this look, guys. I hope you enjoy, and I also hope you try it out.